My name is Carmen Perry, and my podcast is Authentically You. Today is, we're almost at the end of the month of December of 2022, and I wanted to do something very special. In fact, the podcast is special in its own right because it is sharing information about other people's journey on their self-development path. Our content is carefully curated to provide somewhat of peace, appreciation, and gratitude for not only the guest's journey, but for your own. And hopefully, through their words, through their sharing with you, it'll spark curiosity in you to start your own journey and to begin your own. So I want to start. I shouldn't even say I want to start. I want to end this year with someone that I met almost, it's probably been 10 or more years ago. And I met her through my husband. She was working in healthcare ministry in the church. And when I met her, the magic happened. So I want to introduce you to Artra Green, but for me, I call her Sister Green. So I'm going to refer to her during this entire podcast as Sister Green, but I want Artra Green to actually share with you a little bit about her bio, and then we're going to get into conversation.
Oh, thank you, Carmen, for asking me to be on this broadcast. This is the first I've been having fun with my people who call me about a podcast. So I'm excited about being on the podcast today. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. My name is Artra May Stone Green. And this is going to be just a little glimpse of what my life has been since I was born. I was born on a plantation in St. Joseph, Louisiana, Delta Bridge. And my family was sharecroppers. We picked cotton for the man that owned the plantation. And it was a hard life for children. We had to go to the fields from the sun up to the sundown. We had to chop the cotton, pick the cotton. And if anyone ever know anything about cotton, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I know this new generation have never picked cotton. But when you pick cotton, it has you have to pull it out of the bud, I call it. And it has little thorns on it, which stretches up your cuticles, and they bleed as you picking the cotton day after day. So as children, we grew up picking cotton and hoeing cotton in the fields with our family. So this life was bittersweet, I would say. I thought we were poor, and I'll tell you about that later. Because of my travels, I found out that we wasn't as poor as we thought we were. So as I grew up, my family moved to California. And I hadn't quite finished high school, but I got married and had 3 children. And after I had my 2 children, I went to school and got my registered nurse. So I became a registered nurse. One of the dreams I had when I was in the cotton fields. And I remember in the cotton field thinking about it's a better life than this. So as I grew up and became a registered nurse, I worked in that field for 32 years. And most of my working there was in pediatrics. But I did work in med-surg, I worked in triage, I worked in the emergency room. I worked a little while in all these places, caring for patients, which I loved. And as I grew up as a child, I was a caring child. I helped my mother with my siblings. My mother had 4 girls. And as I just said, the life was hard on the plantation. So I helped my mother with my sisters. And anybody I saw struggling or anything as a child, I would cry or I would try to go help. And I'm gonna tell you this little thing. I don't want to take too long, but I know I had a caring heart because on the farm we grew chickens and pigs and so on. And one day, as a little child, I was about 5, I ran over the little chicken and I cried for days and days. And my mama said, "Baby, you didn't mean to do that." But my heart has been a caring heart all my life. So as I said, we worked in the pediatrics, and then I had a chance in the early 90s to travel to Haiti, which was one of the poorest countries in the hemisphere. But going to Haiti, I said to myself, they say it's so poor. I said, no, I know what poor is. But when I got there, I had no idea. So going to Haiti changed my life when I saw people struggling, no food, no clothes, no shelter. And so it just pricked my heart to always, I came back home and I said, if I can, I will always try to help people that are poorer than me or that need my help, whatever it is. If it's $1, 50 cents, whatever, I'm going to do that. So so since I went to Haiti, I had a chance to travel to other places and see other struggles, but I had not seen any as bad as Haiti. So I I'm not sure, Karma, but I'm guess we're getting to how helping children came to be.
Yes, you know what, the story that you told really is a beautiful segue in, because your travels, you always had that power of intention to do something, and I hear it now. I'm reading a book called The Power of Intention, and it really is saying that you've always had it in you. It just basically, what it did is it blossomed as you
As I
began
grew.
to travel and see. So Haiti inspired you, but what I want to know is, how did um helping children around the world really come to fruition? Because you had been a nurse all these years, you had already
Hmm.
lived your life,
Hmm.
and now 2.0 comes into play, and helping children around the world makes its debut. Tell us a little bit about how it came
That's
to
how
be.
they came. After leaving Haiti, my friend and I went together along with another group of missionaries. And when we came back, I was working. We decided we were going to help people there. We helped them build houses. We helped them get food. And long as we were working, we just kept sending money to build houses for these people who were sleeping on the dirt ground. And so when I retired, I I didn't have the means to keep doing what I was doing, and I wanted it to do. And so one day, before that one day though, I must say, I had asked a couple of young people. I said, I want to start a nonprofit. I want you to start a nonprofit so we can help people that we see in need. But nobody took it up. And one day I was sitting on my couch in my living room, and something came into me up there, and it says, "You talking about starting a nonprofit? You go do it yourself." And I said, "I don't know how to start no nonprofit. I hear about them, but I have no idea how to start a nonprofit." And I don't know if any of you that's listening to me today know that things come to you. It just comes up and talk to you in your mind. So I said, okay. I said, well, I don't, my computer's not working. So get up, go to the library and just look up how to uh, plan a nonprofit, how to do it. And I said, okay. And don't look no further. Just take one step at a time. And I did that. I got up and I went down to the library here in Fairfield and I just looked how to start a nonprofit. And number one, it tells you get the name. And that's how the name came about. You have to go through the state to get the name. But anyway, helping children were born then for the global vision that I had of helping children.
Now, Sister Green, tell me when you started, when you got the name
Hmm.
and you built the practice, what was your mission?
So after I didn't, I did what came up here one step at a time. Got the name, got everything you had to go through. It was a lot of steps. And if I had known the last steps of the way, I probably wouldn't have went through with it because it it demanded money. It you had to have money to get your nonprofit. It had to be tax exempt, state and federal, and tonnage. Just so much that
Mhm.
it had steps that it had to do at that time. That's been about, oh God, I started it in 2014. So
Mhm.
in that time, they had all the steps that we had to go through. So after I got it and everything, and everybody was so helpful on the way that I called, I said, now what I'm gonna do with it. So it came to me again, said, I want you to have a tea and I want you to have a garage sale. Just start with those two things. So, starting a nonprofit, you do have to get a board. So I had a secretary and a treasurer. The treasurer, I called her and I said, well, I don't know how we're going to do the money thing. I said, but it came to me about a tea and a garage. So that's how we would, in my mind, to get the funds to help the children.
Wow. What's very interesting to me is the steps that you took because most people most people would have looked and examined everything. The beauty of what you did is you dealt with it in portions so that it didn't overwhelm you.
Oh,
And that's really the now, being in that moment of saying, I just want to get
yeah.
this portion done. Let's
Mhm.
not look down the line
Right.
because
Just
of
start.
just start. And
Mhm.
so that's for me when I'm hearing this is so powerful for other people to hear this. So when you actually began the process of the garage sales and the tea, how was healthcare, helping children around the world received by the community when you first started?
Okay. So it started the it was founded in 2014.
Hmm.
2015, they gave the thought came in my mind February. Said do it February, the second week in February, have a tea. And I'm going, well, where am I gonna have the tea? So I started looking in I think I was looking in the phone books because I wasn't too good on computers and looking for places. And I went to all the places in Fairfield that the community center, library, different places to see if I could hold it there. Well, most of the places I went, it was really kind of expensive. So I don't know how, but I tell you, there's something that guides you when you make up your mind and follow, I call it the spirit. And so it says there is a community center where older people live. go over there and see if they have a room. I think I had been over there and visit some old elderly people there in this facility. Uh, I can't think of where it is now. It's over by Green Valley. Not Green Valley, Rancho Salon.
Mhm.
That's right. So I went there. I went in and I spoke with a lady at the desk, and I told her the vision. I said, well, I just need a place for about 50 people. Do you have a conference room here? Well, you will have nonprofits come. And I said, I want to have a tea here for about 50 people. She said, yeah, we have a room for 50 people. And I said, oh, I said, well, how much would it be? She said, you are a nonprofit? I said, yes. And she said, well, for nonprofits, it's free. And she said, if you're going to have the tea, we will provide the coffee and the tea. So that's how we got the first place. And when we got there, I invited uh, people. I didn't think I invited over 50, but the room overflowed. There was no room in the place. And when I think about it, I get kind of emotional because I know that is something that guides you when you make up your mind to follow. And I'm going to tell you what I call it. I call it the Holy Spirit.
Mhm.
So they said, come. And we invited people, and they told people, I'm sure, because it was overflowing. So after that, that was so in the spring, I'm in the summer, June, I wanted to have the garage sale the same year. February, the tea, June, the garage sale. Before the garage sale could be announced good, my garage filled up that I couldn't hardly get my car in. And I go, oh, I was just overwhelmed. Just couldn't believe it. But that is how it was received.
Wow.
Keep and what the other thing I missed when I say have the tea, don't charge no funds. Just tell the people what you want to do and what you want to happen. Don't charge nothing. And from then on, people kept saying as we went through the years, they said, "Why don't you charge?" I said, "Don't charge. If you have a heart to give, give. If not, pray for us or give us some for the garage. Whatever your heart tell you to do." And people did it and have been doing it now for 9 years.
Wow. Wow. So
So
let
that's
me ask you this. So the beauty of your story is that from little comes much.
mhm.
It's and it just kept coming. Can you tell me, did you ever have doubts about failing? If so, how did you overcome them?
I never had any doubts about failing. The only thing I had doubts about, and in my mind, I didn't say, I said, whatever we have, whatever money we get, or whatever funds we get, we will help whoever we can help with that amount.
Mhm,
And I said, well, I know it will help somebody
mhm.
because I know a lot of people. I've met people who think that you have to do great big things to mean something. But I know that little things can count too. So
Wow.
I said, okay. I said, okay, we can't fail because if we have $5, we're going to split that if somebody need a meal. We're going to do that. So I never thought about failing at all. I just thought that it wouldn't, you know, um, I wouldn't be able to do as much as we did have done. I'll put it that way.
So that leads to my next question. In your 10 years, and you're moving into your 10th year now,
Yes.
can you give us a little glimpse of the people you've helped or the locations you've helped with, because you're helping children around the world. Give
Mhm.
us an idea of who you've helped.
Well, I tell you, I had asked the treasurer some time ago to give me a readout
Hmm.
of all the funds that we have collected through the years. And I can't believe I think now this has been about 2 years ago that I asked her that. And I'm just putting this in. And I believe she said about 40,000. But I will tell you that we have helped children in earthquake areas in Haiti. We helped children in Puerto Rico with I think it was the storm, the hurricane. We have helped people in Louisiana. We have people in the Congo. We have people in California and Texas with water, food, educational backpacks, all kind of school supplies, because that is our mission to provide clean water, food, education to children around the world. And we have sent children in Haiti didn't have lights to study at home. I saw them studying under the street light. They gather around under the street lights and get. So we have sent. Oh God, what you call those? The lights that they make it. It's like a computer, and it gives light to the home or the school.
Okay.
It's like a suitcase light. We have sent those over so the kids could have lights. But we have helped people in Ghana, like I said, and I'm sure I'm leaving out Georgia. We just helped all around whenever we heard of a hurricane. And I'll tell you this, the Lord, I have to say that He just directed our steps. We would find churches that was working in that area. We would talk to them to make sure that they went to wherever they got the supplies of water, and they would send us pictures and show us what they were doing.
Hmm.
So we have just been blessed with churches, nonprofits to work through to do these things.
Wow. Wow. What a blessing.
Yes.
From a mustard seed. From a
Yes.
mustard
Grow
seed.
up.
Look at what you did.
Look at God. And I bring up the scripture. He said, He'll pour out the windows of heaven and blow out your blessing you won't be able to receive. And for us, helping children has been a big blessing to so many children.
Sister Green, the reason why I thought about you is because I talk to women and men all the time in my coaching practice about this next step, this 2.0, this preparation for what you're going to do. A lot of people don't really prepare for it. And so when it touches you in a way that allows you to do something that really was on your heart from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
now the time that you have allows you to do it much more, much more freely.
Yes, yes,
What advice would you give to women and men who are preparing to retire or preparing for that career change? Because what you've done it it just is so moving and so helpful to the world. Can you talk a little bit about, what advice you give them in terms of preparing to do something, not necessarily same, but do something
yes,
and find their
something.
purpose?
Okay, I don't have much to say other than follow your heart, follow your mind. Don't get scared. Take one step at a time and go. And I heard a minister from Canada said, Where you see God working, go there and work. You don't have to invent anything. If you see a need or something and it's telling you to go there. You can work behind the scenes. You don't have to make a big name. You can do it. So, and don't be afraid of failing, because if you fail, you can't fail really, because if you fail, you still learn. So I would tell anybody, and I tell all these young people that I'm there, if your heart is telling you to do something or to get up and go somewhere, invest it and go. And so when you get my age, 85, and you don't have no, I wish I had help. I wish no. I said no. If something you want to do, just try it and go for it.
Wow. Wow. That's beautiful. But you know what? I want to reflect back on that little girl from Louisiana, and I want to know what you would tell your younger self about what you've accomplished and how you did it. What would you tell Artra Green?
Okay, I wrote one of these days. I will share it with you too, Carmen. I wrote a letter. I call it a note to myself. It's to me, and I got the inspiration to write this letter from Joe Biden when
Hmm.
his son died. He wrote a letter to himself. So I wrote one to myself. But and I say to myself now, I say to myself, I say, Artra, when you were growing up in that cotton field, when you were a little girl, did you ever think that you would help so many people and that you would go so many places? And so that's what I could say about
Yeah, that's
about that.
beautiful. That's beautiful. So I want to ask you something that's so important because you are into your 10th year, but I want to know, what do you want the legacy for yourself and the legacy of helping children around the world to be? What is that legacy?
I have talked to the directors a little bit about that. Uh, and it's very, very simple. I told them. I said, I'm hoping that someone that hears about helping children around the world will care so much about the children that they will let this helping children go on for years and years to come. But if not, that they can turn it over to a nonprofit that has the children as their mission. So that's just the
Wow,
simple.
that's beautiful. So I'm gonna we're gonna venture down to um the premise of my podcast is called Authentically You. And I named it Authentically You because a lot of times we walk through life um, not being fully ourselves. So this podcast is really to show that if you show yourself, if you show who you are and whose you are, that the support comes to you, that the mission that you're on continues to flow. And I want to know what makes Archer Green authentically you.
I thought about that question. And I never thought about being authentic.
Mhm.
But I know when I was growing up, my mama always taught us, be yourself. God made you. There's not another you nowhere in this world. So be you. And so I think from a little girl on, uh, in fact, my son asked me, and my mother and my aunties, when working, well, you'll never know, you generation will never know about working in the fields in Jim Crow time. Little black girls and children always kind of held their heads down. But our family around us said, hold your head up, because what they say about you is not true.
Mhm.
So you be you. And so we tried to do that as children, although we were beaten down and called the N word and all of this during that time. We still tried to do that. And then the other thing they taught was tell the truth, be truthful. Don't steal. Treat everybody good, regardless to who they are. And so I don't know if that means that uh, you that's authentic you, but that's me. I don't look down on nobody. Everybody is important. And I cry so much now about the homeless on the streets and people you see. But that's somebody's child. And most of all, it's God's child. God made us all. And we all have value, regardless to if you're the president or you're the lowest people on the earth, you have value because he made you. So everybody, I tell young people and my grandchildren era, be you. Don't worry about nobody else. And if you make a mistake, own up to your mistake. Don't blame nobody else. Okay, I did it. I did wrong. Apologize. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
And, be honest with people.
Wow. Boy, you have given me some nuggets of wisdom. Every time we talk, it's just beautiful, but that is just the plus. But here's what I want you to share. If there are users that are listening to this podcast, how can they contribute to helping children around the world?
Well, if they listen to this broadcast, we have a website that they can go to and look there. And let me see if I can give you the website. I think I can. I think it's sometimes the old mind don't remember it well, but it's www.helpingchildrenworld.org.
www. Helping children around the world.
No, just helpingchildrenworld.org.
Okay. Wonderful.
And you can also email us at info@helpingchildrenworld.org.
Wonderful. So, Sister Green, you know what? I chose the holiday time to do this because I think it's a gift. What you're doing with helping children around the world is a gift that continues to give. And you and I have sat in the room together and we have talked about what our mission is.
Yeah.
So I am honored today that you spend this time to tell the world about your mission, because it is so beautiful. And really what happens with little kids, they become older kids. So they become the adults.
Yes.
And they understand what their purpose in life is. So I thank you today that you have graced our podcast or my podcast with helping children around the world. And you know that I'm going to be with you through it all.
Well,
So
thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you
right.
so much.
Wonderful.